Accessibility.
Also, we're live. I took away the opportunity for you to say howdy, Louie.
But now I got you to say it. You just said it, so it's catching on.
I'm legit making you a shirt.
I really want it.
I can do that.
I would wear that.
Okay.
It's like so out of my character, which is why I like it.
I really picture like
It's
Tim Antler.
what was that song called?
Woody from
Which one?
Toy
The
Story,
Get
when
Up.
you say that.
Is that it? The Get It? The Get Up?
I don't know.
It's
Are you
like
talking
that
about
new,
that new song.
yes,
Yeah.
the new dance.
Oh,
Do the
I hate it.
two-step, be a
What?
cowboy, go to sweetheart and swinger. Do the hold down and do.
Like,
Sorry, I can't control my face right
What
now.
were we talking
It's
about?
so good.
Good thing this is a podcast. Oh, was that Charlie? Oh, man.
I know someone just licked my foot. It's our dog, Charlie. Okay. All right. So, well, that was probably 2 minutes of laughing, and poor
All right.
people have been listening to that. Accessibility. We were talking about
Yes.
accessibility. And just how that. How
Yeah,
that's
and
important
so especially in youth ministry, being accessible, it's so valuable in any relationship to be accessible, but especially with students. And the reason why I think is because they are so interconnected with each other at all times. They have their Snapchats and their Instagrams and like their TikTok and their texting, and they're constantly communicating. And so if you're not up for the challenge of being constantly bombarded with notifications and Instagram posts and following them, really, like you have to follow them, in a literal sense on Instagram, like. And I think, I don't have a Snapchat. I don't, for boundaries' sake. I think that's a little dangerous. Instagram, it's public. It's right there. Everybody can see it. So it's like it's safer. I think. Texting is like you can. It saves. So I think in that sense, like it is good to have boundaries and make sure that you're not putting yourself in a compromising situation. But when you are in that within your boundaries of safety and accountability, you're connected, man. You have to be connected, because if you shut them out, I mean, you leave them on red, you ghost them, whatever you want to say, they're gonna feel that. Yeah. They're gonna feel that, and it's gonna hurt. And you don't think anything of it because you're like, well, why didn't they just call me if it was important? But a text, hey bro, what's up? That means something more than, hey bro, what's up? Yeah. Like it means something that they're texting you, like they tag you in a post, they post something on their Instagram. I can't tell you how many Instagram stories I've seen where there's kind of, like this depressed undertone of the story, and you're like, And then you text them, hey bro, what's up? and that is just, you have to be accessible. You have to be watching, it's like, it's just so important, and Jesus did that.
And our Father is so accessible to us, right? And you see that modeled by Jesus to God. You see the way that Jesus models that to his disciples and those that are closest to him in his life. So accessibility, what does that look like when we follow the example of Jesus? And how would that change our relationship if we thought about it that way instead of an inconvenience? And it's so easy. And I think that's something that like the enemy really uses a lot is our comfort. We've already talked about that piece, but when it's inconvenient and when you still are making sacrifices, that just really models the love that Christ calls us to model.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about how Casey mentioned earlier that like he gets a lot of calls in the middle of the night, but not as many as you'd think. And one thing that I have to say about that, I know me personally, I feel better if I do it on my own because I feel like an inconvenience if I have to call somebody. And the thing is that knowing that Casey is available and that Karis is available, even if I'm not going to call them, knowing that they are, it does so much for me that I can do it on my own. Yeah. But at the same point, knowing that if I do reach my breaking point, they are still right there and I can call them. They'll be in 3 seconds, in a blink of an eye, they'll listen to me for hours on end if I really wanted them to. And that alone does more than you could ever imagine, just knowing that they'd be there for you when you can't talk to your siblings or your parents or your best friend, or if you even have one, but just having them to lean on does so much without them even having to do anything. It's just the thought of them and making sure that they have told you and that deep down that there's nothing that they wouldn't do for you. There's no event they wouldn't leave or time of night that they wouldn't wake up just to talk to you if you're struggling a little bit. And it does wonders. And I know for like all of my friends and everybody I've talked to, it's so important because it is like 3 a.m. when you're up thinking and you're breaking. That's when you need to call somebody. You can't just sleep it off. It doesn't go away like that. And so when they're accessible like that, that's like, to me, that's like the biggest thing, because you always need somebody to lean on. Like I mentioned earlier, like nobody wants to do it alone. And that's the big thing that I see nowadays. Like that's why people post their personal lives all over social media, is because they don't want to be alone. Even if it is that depressing undertone or like those sad things, like they just don't want to be alone. That's the whole point of it. And yeah, like I know I even get annoyed when I see some of my classmates or something, they're posting things that they shouldn't be posting. I'm like, why would you say that? Like, but it's like they just don't want to be alone. There's nothing about them that wants to be alone, and I understand that. And I think that's why accessibility is so important right now.
And I think how we respond to other people's vulnerability, because that's something that you see all over the place. And I think it's easy to look at that and be like, oh, I wouldn't post that, or oh, do they know what they're doing and what they just posted the other day? And now they've completely changed their mind, and it's so easy to look at that in a place of judgment. But if we look at it and, hey, here's an opportunity for me to be Christ to someone, here's an opportunity for me to grow in this, for me to learn more about that person. It's not. I think it's easy to respond in judgment. What's hard is to look past it and look for relationship in it instead of what's on the surface. So if we take the time to look deeper and past the emoji. But for real, it's so easy. It's so easy to look at everything at face value.
We should make a little chart for some people who don't use emojis to help them decipher what each one means.
Yes, definitely.
I'm still learning.
Yeah, and I think that's so when things and there's events that really help open the door so someone doesn't have to be alone. They can meet new people. There might be someone on the panel or someone who teaches or something, or someone they're worshiping next to that they really connect with. Yeah. And then that's a new friend or a new confidant or something like that. And that's just really beautiful to build relationships like that with the WIT Conference or the Fangirl Fridays coming up or Torch Night. Things like that is just, we're not coming with the entertainment or the answers or anything like that, but it's like, we know the Lord there's going to be fruit from this.
Yep. And
He's
something
faithful.
awesome about even the WIT Conference is we have a lot of adult leaders from a lot of different churches in the community who are going to be there so that they can connect. And this is the best thing, because it's not, I want to make sure they come to my youth group, or let's make sure that kid gets in my youth group and that so-and-so doesn't talk to them. It's like, we're all kind of coming with the idea of there's going to be people that you can connect with, like that somebody else can't, right? And that's so important because you get to be there and make that connection. And, sometimes I can't connect with every kid. I can't do that. I don't have that capacity. Jesus had 12 disciples, 12. Why are we thinking we can disciple every kid we see? And it's like, no, we need each other. And sometimes, and I do this quite a bit, sometimes I hear, students will go, hey, will you mentor me or whatever? And sometimes I say, no, but this is a perfect person who I think could mentor you. Because it's like, I know that person, I know who they are, and I'm not, in the same world as them. Yeah. Like there's some kids who I just don't get. There's some kids I don't feel that connection, and I'm like, I don't think I'm the right person for you, but let me tell you who I do think is compatible with you. This leader over here, and there's some kids who will come to the WIT Conference who will go, I just feel like I want to be able to express myself in worship, and I love that. And it's like, oh, you need to talk to Leisha. Like you need to talk to so and so. You need to. Or some kids are gonna go, I don't know about the the lights and all that stuff. Like it's just not me. Like I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here, but I'm not one to jump around and raise my hands. I kind of like listening to the words and go, oh, I have the perfect leader for you. You've got to meet so and so. And that's the idea is that these kids are different, and the Lord really connects, he connects you with the right people.
And that's utilizing the giftings too. Yeah. So like that's first and foremost, like living that out in that affirmation that we talked about as well.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So good. Yeah. Well, we're talking all about the WIT Conference. What are the best ways that people can help out, learn more? Mm-hmm. What do they need to do?
So they can go onto our Instagram page, our Facebook page, and we have a website that's coming up. Okay, it's not up yet. We're still developing it, but it will be up shortly. And our Instagram page is WIT Conference. Okay, just WIT Conference on Instagram, and then on Facebook it's WIT Conference MI. Okay, so Women in Trucking Conference. Really, that's actual. I was an actual.
It for real was.
URL
we went to get the URL. I'm like, Women in Trucking got it before we did.
So
if you
we are 100% pro women in trucking. We do support. Yeah, we support that profession. More power to you. Wish you didn't steal our URL. Wish we thought of it first.
Yeah. But, way to be innovative.
Yeah, I like it.
That's awesome.
And then to support WIT, we have the 3 P's, which is pray, promote, and provide. So praying is very self-explanatory. Promoting is just like sharing by word of mouth or like on social media, etc. And then providing, whether that be your time, your giftings, if you're going to like cook for the events, or you're going to donate something. And that'd be like, the next would be like if you're going to provide goods or money or something to help out with the actual event itself, which all of that we appreciate very greatly.
Oh, yeah. And like right now we have, just to talk about that providing point, we have a $500 budget that we're trying to achieve for this WIT program conference. So we need $500 of in a cash budget that we can go ahead and buy things that we need for the games and for the for the snacks and the meals. And I mean, pizza for all those people is not cheap, but we need that. But I mean, if you can't give financially, if you can, we'd love that. If you want tax, a tax write-off for that, you can give to either you contact to us. We have a few churches who are willing to create a drop bar in their giving online so that you can give and receive that tax write-off. But if you're not focused on that, or if you don't even need, if it's a small donation, you can contact us via those social media platforms, and we can show you how to give on that to contribute financially. But also, I mean, cookies. If you can bake cookies, if you're a grandma listening out there, and you can just bake, like we need a lot of cookies, to make this thing happen. We need people to buy bags of chips. We need,
send them to my house.
Yes. We have to test the cookies.
You have to submit them.
Submit them for tasting.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
I think now we're getting selfish now. I think
maybe a little.
I think we just want excellence for the Lord.
That's what we want.
It is.
And so, I mean, if you're a baker, if you can do literally anything, the VIP lounge this first time is going to welcome youth leaders and youth pastors in the community. And so, if you're a youth pastor, a youth leader in the community, we're going to get you a VIP bracelet, and you will have all exclusive, all exclusive access to the VIP lounge. And we have a friend, Jason Giles, who's going to be contributing to the VIP lounge. He's an amazing chef at the center. And if you've ever had a banquet or anything, attended some sort of event at the center, their food is so good.
It's not goldfish.
It is not. It's not goldfish. It is. It is really
the
good.
previous podcast to know.
Yeah, listen to that.
Not the snap cracker.
I'm telling you, that guy can cook, and he can cook, but he can make cheesecake better than he does anything else. I mean, he's good at a lot of things. I'm telling you, everything he does, it pales in comparison to his cheesecake recipe. I don't really love cheesecake. I'm being honest. Grace does. She's like cheesecake.
I love cheesecake.
I think it's true. He makes it so perfect. I'm telling you, you'll like it.
Yeah.
But I mean, so he's
have to sneak
going to
some
be
from the
kind of in
middle.
charge of that VIP lounge, which will be awesome. We have different churches who are sponsoring different portions of the night. Grace Point is going to be providing s'mores for everybody at the after party. And we're going to have bonfires and s'mores for everybody. I mean, that's awesome. New Life, CJ Clymer and his son Zeke, who's on our dream team, they're doing merch and t-shirts and they're providing that. We've had students giving donations, their own monetary donations. Students stepping up and saying, no, I'm investing in this. Parents saying, we're investing in this. We want to see this happen. Churches saying, we want to see this happen. One Mosaic provided the invite boxes. So we have invite boxes, which were a student's idea to give out invite boxes with some merch and some informational stuff, promotional stuff, and give it to churches. Give it to the pastors. Say, we want you on board with this. We're so excited that you're going to be coming. We're so excited that you're bringing your youth group. Here's your, here's a little gift from us to tell you how much we appreciate you. And it's more than just, hey, come to our event. We're really genuinely trying to create this community here.
Deep
and
roots.
Yeah, and I think we are. And so One Mosaic sponsored that. We have people, just contributing, and it's awesome.
The body of Christ.
It really is. So if you're out there and you're going, man, something's just stirring in my heart. I feel like God's doing a move in the students of this area, and I want to contribute whatever I can. I mean, please message us on Facebook through Facebook Messenger or on Instagram, and you can email us at witconferencemi at gmail.com. witconferencemi@gmail.com. That's WIT. And so you say whip conference? Like whipped cream? No. No, it is not. Though that might be a game we play. We could do a whipped cream sculpture in somebody's head.
Oh, I like that.
I've done it before.
Oh, dear.
I like that idea.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having us.
And I'm
This
really
is
looking
awesome.
forward to September 21st. What time? 6?
It starts at the
Q&A's at 4. Yeah.
and then it's pregame at 5.
6.
6. Large group gathering is 7 to 9, and then the after party's 9 to 11.
So really, 4 to 11, block
Yeah.
out
4
some
to
time.
11. There's
Wow.
that first session. We'll break for dinner, and then we'll come back. And
So you're
have
saying
kind
it's free babysitting for... No, I'm kidding.
High school kids.
of parents, if you want to go out
If you're-
on Saturday night.
And you would like your freshman age child.
September 21st.
I guess if your college age kid needs babysitting,
Yeah.
you can still bring them.
I'm really excited. I did talk to a young adults pastor director today, and I like, I know that a lot of college kids will be attracted to that Q&A. I'm hoping they show up for the game, because I think the game's going to be so much fun. I hope they're not, I mean, we're in college. And he goes, nah, man, I think they're going to love the games. And so if you're a college student out there, we need you to come and represent your college age group.
Oh, for sure.
And earn those VIP
You will not be
passes.
disappointed. I can tell you that.
Yeah, they're not little baby games
No.
here. This is
No.
real life Survivor-esque games. So it'll be awesome. Maybe we may or may not be playing with fire.
What?
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
Pull a spirit.
We've done it before.
To be continued.
I've definitely.
Does One Mosaic know
included
about this?
fire. It's outside. It'll be outside.
It'll be out.
Games will
We're
be
already
outside.
having s'mores.
Yeah, we're
so there
having
will be
s'mores.
More
fire.
On that note.
Hey, hallelujah. Whatever. I don't know which was worse.
Hallelujah is
I can-
a staple now.
All right. Thank you, listeners, for listening to the THWC podcast.